Okay, welcome back. In the last session, we talked about stress events that we have no control over and lifestyle stress that we have absolutely everything. We can control all of that. So there is, within us, there is a natural flow from our brain to the rest of our body. Like this space between our ears controls everything, and there's a normal flow from our brain to the rest of us.
Well, for most of us.
Yeah, but then what happens?
Well, then if a stress event happens, it's a total disconnect, and it really can mess up how we live, how we respond,
True.
Everything. And women, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, something like that can throw our emotions into whack, and we just respond in ways that we would not normally.
Well, it is true because it literally stress changes where we think. Like it's from the normal communication where we would actually have a response to a situation, it turns it into a reaction, and we react to the situation, which is not what we want. So
Instead of responding,
yeah. So when you get into that stressed state, it literally turns the body into what we call the sympathetic response, which is we're in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Okay, saber-toothed tiger is after you. What options do you have? Like from the beginning of time, we had three options when we were under stress. We could fight the saber-toothed tiger and try to win. We could run, flee.
At least be faster than the person behind you.
Which is not good news for me. Or we could freeze and try to hide, and it's that lockdown mode. And so that's the natural response that we have internally here in a brain that triggers that so that we could save ourselves or get away from the danger and the stress.
But a major problem with that is we were designed to be living in that mode very, very minuscule amount of the time. We're supposed to be living in rest, digest, and restore the majority of the time, but that's not what's happening, we're finding.
No, I mean, we're so keyed up right now that we rarely ever get to that rest, digest, and restore mode. And I mean, I would even ask you the question, how many of you go out of a week and go into a weekend and you're exhausted, but then you hit the weekend and you're constantly doing something on Saturdays, you're doing stuff on Sunday, and whatever it is, you get to Monday morning when you were supposed to have been able to regroup and recharge for the week. And yet now we're starting Monday and we're exhausted again, and then we go right back into it. And we never hit that rest, digest, or restore mode that we were born to have. So the question that we want you to think about with this session is, what do you need to do differently? When do you find yourself, or do you find yourself ever getting into that rest, digest, and restore mode? Or are you predominantly living in that fight, flight, or freeze mode? What's causing that? How could you change that? What are the triggers that you could identify that get you into those two spots? So think about those things. And then when we come back on the next session, we'll talk about how do we start identifying where those stress moments come from.